So Elyon has gone free to play, and I find that extremely interesting. I mean, when you think about all of these games and everything coming out, and you think about the ones that have already come out, and they cost this and that and the other, they cost all these different things, and there's all these um, marketplaces inside the game, and they ask you for real money and stuff like that, and you're really sitting there and you're thinking about, is it worth my money? And you see something like, what I'm guessing is they took a look at how many people had pre-ordered and how many people have said that it's too close to the release of New World, and they would rather play New World than Elyon. And so them moving the release date and making it free to play, I find that very interesting. And I figured I would share my personal opinion on what I think about this. And I understand why people want to play New World. It is fun, it looks good. But looking at it from a developer point of view, New World, uh, there's so many people that they're like, I'd rather play New World than Elyon, despite the fact that they're probably, and most likely not, there probably won't be a delay to New World, but everybody already has that mindset because of past history that most likely we will see another delay to New World. And you just look at the past history, and it just brings you to the conclusion that everybody looks at the game and they think it looks good, and they think it looks like it's more fun than Elyon potentially. And they would rather play that game than this game. I am on the opposite end because I look at, and this is the developer's fault. This is the developers and the publisher's fault. I look at a game as to how the developers and the publishers plan on treating us as the consumer. Because of all these years in the past of developers and publishers deciding to release games before they should, and them not being a completely finished product, and it happening with so many games, I personally decided that, okay, I will wait until the game is completely finished before I buy it, because I am not willing to spend $60 or whatever the full price is for the brand new game for an unfinished game, because that's what it is. They don't realize that we're smarter than what they seem to think that we are most of the time. We see what's going on. They're asking full price for an unfinished game, because if they release it and it's all messed up, and there are things that they're saying, we're going to fix this, patches are coming, expansions are coming, additional content is coming, that means it's not a full game. Now, if they said, okay, yeah, our full game is released, now we're working on expansions, and that'll come out in the future at some point, then yeah, that's a full game. But when they say, yeah, we released the game, but we got a lot of patches to put in. There's content missing. We're going to add more content later. And then we're going to start working on the rest of the game. Then it's not a finished game. So you want me to pay full price for a unfinished game. And I can't be okay with that anymore because it happens so often. And looking at New World compared to Elyon, it seems like Elyon, they were like, okay, we want $30 or $60 or $90 for our game. You have to purchase at least one of those in order to play our game. Oh, there's not really that many people purchasing it. And we also see that more people would want to play New World over our game because of how closely they are being released to each other. Let's move it back and let's make it free to play so that we can get more players in there and stuff like that. Whereas with New World, they're asking for you to pay for the game, and most likely it's going to be an unfinished product if they release it. And the sad part is, if they decide to delay it once again, it'll probably still be an unfinished product because everybody on the internet has said they need a lot more time than we know they are going to give to the game for it to be completely finished. And so I see Elyon as being more consumer friendly with what they are doing, even though it's for their benefit. I'm not dumb. I realize that that's why they're doing it. But looking at it the way that I do, it's more consumer friendly to do it that way than it is to release once again an unfinished game. And I'm not okay with it. I really am not. And you don't see me playing Call of Duty Warzone. You don't see me playing a lot of the battle royales because there's cheaters and hackers and things going on that I'm not okay with. And I'm just one person, but I actively do not play those games, even though my Twitch and my Facebook live streams would probably grow pretty fast if I played. I refuse to play. And it's the same thing with New World. I refuse. It's a little bit different, but it's pretty much close enough to the same. I refuse to play New World until it's a finished product. And if everybody in the world would get on board with this stuff and say, hey, I'm not playing Warzone until you have an anti-cheat. I refuse. And you say, I'm not buying this game until you guys finish it. Then these developers and these publishers would stop getting away with this bullshit all the time. And I really wish everybody else would get on board with this stuff. I'm going to play Elyon not because it looks like a better game than New World. I'm going to be playing Elyon because they're treating us better than New World is going to treat us. Because I can almost guarantee you they are going to either delay the game again and again, and I don't really think that's what's going to happen. Like, the percentage of that happening is far lower than the fact that they will release the game and it won't be finished. And consumers out there are letting this happen because we won't take a stand and say, hey, I'm not playing your game. I'm not doing it. And so all these people are like, oh, despite the fact that, there are other games out there that are actually finished games that I could go and play and wait for them to get their shit together with any game that they're trying to release in an early state. I mean, go back and look at where we were with Fallout 76 and all the crap that happened with that. And that was a little while ago now. And you would think that all the developers and publishers would have learned from that debacle. But then fast forward some time and we get to Cyberpunk 2077. It was even worse than Fallout 76. And I didn't even think that that was possible until I physically saw it happen. But they're doing this stuff because they're getting away with it. And they're getting away with it because we are playing the games regardless of how bad of a state it's in. And when I saw all this crap going on with Cyberpunk 2077, I had that game pre-ordered. I was going to play it on day one, and I did. But the first couple days I played it, I kept crashing into objects that weren't there. I couldn't drive the car properly. There was a lot of things wrong with it. And you know what? I haven't played it since the second day that it came out, because I'm waiting for it to be in a complete state before I pick up that game again. And I can say to the consumer and my fellow gamers, hey, this game is worth playing now. And I'm waiting for that. I'm still waiting for that to happen. In New World, it'll be in a much better state than Fallout 76 or Cyberpunk 2077. But I almost can guarantee that they release this game, it's not going to be a complete product, and it doesn't matter, because gamers and content creators out there are going to want to cover the game, and they're going to want to get those likes and get those subs and all that stuff. And so they're going to play it regardless. And so then here we go again. They get away with doing what they're doing again. Another developer, another publisher, whatever, they're going to get away with releasing an unfinished product for full price, or in this case, it's not full price, but it's still shitty. It's still a scummy practice, guys. Come on. Stop giving them your money. Stop playing their game. It's just not, it's not going to change if we don't do something about it. I mean, it's probably the thing that I like the most about Angry Joe is he says the same things I'm saying now. But it just continues to happen, and people are going to continue to do it, and I just don't understand it. Like, the constant complaining about these games being unfinished and having all these problems and all these things wrong with it, and yet you still play it. So you complain about it for months and months, but you still play it. I don't understand. You know, when Warzone was flooded with all these cheaters, I stopped playing that game. When Apex Legends started having its issues, it's coming back out of it. You know, it's not quite nearly as bad, but the stuff that's going on with that game, and with them ignoring my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time, Titanfall 2, the fact that they ignored it and it got as bad as it did, I don't play Apex Legends anymore, because I won't support them ignoring their other games and literally allowing people to pay money for the game and then trying to get on it, and they can't, and then they don't do anything about it. I'm just throwing out all these examples of what led me to the opinion that I have now, where I'm not going to play New World, even though it does look slightly better than Elyon. Elyon's going to treat me better. Elyon and their developers care more about us playing their game than New World does. It's just that's the fact. And the fact that people are still going to play that game really bothers me. It's going to be released. It's going to be in an unfinished state. And I can already see it. The people they're still going to play it. Amazon's still going to make that money, but they're going to feel okay with themselves because they're only going to play it for 3 or 4 weeks and then go on to the next thing. And then they'll be talking about the next thing, and everybody will forget about the fact that they released the game in an unplayable state, but they don't give a shit because they already made all that money off the first 3 weeks that they released the game. So they don't care because you guys gave them their money. You gave them your money. And I know this is a bit of a rant, but I'm tired. Like, I'm trying to be more, I'm trying to be more of like a fun, entertaining, educational channel. I don't want to like get into religion or politics or gaming news or anything like that. That's not what my channel is, and that's not really what I wanted it to ever be. But I feel like at this point I need to say something about it because it's like Elyon's going free to play, and they delayed their release, and some people are happy about it because they feel like they can play New World and then they can play Elyon, but you don't even know what's going on with New World for sure as far as potentially getting delayed again. And I'm not even going to give it the time of day until I see news that the game has gone completely full release. It is a finished product. And that goes for any game out there. Any game that's coming out, I'm not playing it unless it's a full game. I'm not giving them my money unless it's a full game. And even then, the fact that I feel as if I have to wait who knows how long, because there's been some games that have come out in the past where I literally had to wait 2 years before I would even consider that game, because that's literally how long it took for them to release the actual final full product. And it's only getting worse. And I'm only one guy. I'm only one person. And I'm sure my opinion doesn't really matter much to most people. But this is wrong. It feels wrong. And the fact that other people know that it's wrong, and they feel that it's wrong, but they're still gonna give them their money, it just bothers me really bad. If you guys boycotted the game and none of you guys bought the game, they would change it, and they would make sure it was a finished product, and they would do something about it. And if you guys stopped playing these games where cheaters are allowed to just run rampant everywhere, if you all just stopped, I guarantee you within like a week they would have an anti-cheat released. If you all were like, nope, not giving you our money, you all stopped, I guarantee you that's what would happen. But I don't want to go on and on and on, and I'm sure I'm going to get some hate in the comments, and I'm going to get some dislikes for this video, but I don't really give a shit, because it needs to be said. I'm not touching New World till it's a finished product, and I'm going to be playing Elyon, and I'm looking forward to Elyon, because they actually care about getting people in their game and playing their game, and extending the longevity of their game. And the only negative that I can say about Elyon is hopefully they consider an anti-cheat because it's free to play. They figure out some way to keep the people from flying around the maps and stuff like that on that game. Because if they don't do anything about, because I'm not choosing sides here. I'm not saying that I'm completely on board with one side or the other. If Elyon doesn't do anything to correct what is to come with the amount of cheaters that are going to be running around in that game, if they don't do something about that and quickly, I won't be playing that game either. Any game that lets cheaters get away with crap, and anybody that tries to release an unfinished product, I'm not going to give you the time of day. So we'll see what happens. If you like this, leave the like button. If you agree with me, leave me a comment. If you disagree, leave me a comment. Maybe I'm missing something and I'm not aware of something, but I mean, years and years and years of this same crap is just built up on me to where I just felt it necessary to give my opinion on this. And hopefully you guys don't fry me too bad in the dislikes and comments, but if you do, it's okay. I understand you guys have a difference of opinion, and that's totally all right. But share and subscribe so I can get some more eyes on this channel. If you guys want to watch me live stream, I'm going to start doing Facebook Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then I'm going to do Twitch Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's the plan for the schedule. And I'll be trying to at least release 2 videos a week on YouTube as well. It's a lot of work. You guys have no idea. Like, if you're not a creator that's trying to do YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch, and try to keep up with your Patreon posts and stuff like that, man, it's a lot of work. So any help with what I'm doing would be much, much, much appreciated, because I'm putting a lot of freaking time and a lot of work into trying to get this stuff going and be successful with this stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, later.